Okay, it's recording. All right, so if you cut around this here, sometimes I will take like like down in this little bit in between. That can be a little tough to get get a knife in there, maybe. Maybe not. Let's see. I could try. And of course, when you're doing this, you don't want to slip, because you right through that. That could be terrible. But my preference, I would take like a little tiny tool like this, especially in a little corner. It's pretty convenient to get down in like that. And if I'm cutting away from this, I don't necessarily need to cut the wall if I know I'm cutting that way. So this is actually just, I have the tablet close to the surface. That's okay. So like that. There. So I'll turn the block so I'm cutting away from myself. So the cutting, it's easier if the force is just going directly away. Now some of this will be a little thin, but I'm a little hesitant to bring a wider tool into this spot. There. And sometimes you can just get the gouge right along the edge as you right the way you want it. So like if I don't need to, if I can just do it with the gouge like that and get a nice clear edge on it, that'll be fine.
Okay, okay.
Then I can just clear out there. If for some reason I had to be cutting in this way, like if there was something here that I didn't want to risk cutting into, like let's say I've got some edge here and I don't want to slip and cut into this and I don't want to cut into that, then I think I might take the knife just to make sure and cut down. Also be careful here, my thumb is right here, and if I slip out of this, ouch. So don't. So then can do that like that. But I still want to be careful, because if I cut deeper with the gouge than that wall I cut, I'll go underneath it. So you want to also, you don't just have like a free rein on how much force you're using, but it does help. So that that's better like that. But you can, so you can create that edge either with any of the tools, just cutting around it.
Okay. That's
But if,
what I was
yeah.
see clearly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it happens, like you might have like an edge that's really close to this one, and you can't just like la 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 and cut away like that. And so you've got to be careful, and then you do need to cut the wall.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not as, like if it's a little bit crumbly.
Yeah, that's what I think. That this one is, I'm experiencing that.
Yeah.
Carol mentioned that
Yeah.
we dropped, and I didn't know. I've never worked with any material I
Yeah.
never done any of this, so I wouldn't
Okay.
know what to expect. I didn't
Yeah.
know that was.
But it is, sometimes the stuff is soft and sometimes it's really kind of brittle. And, it was something, it occurred to me at some point in the last few years that when I was a student, it was usually soft. Like if it was hard to cut, there was something wrong with it. So maybe they just manufactured a ton of it, and now we're just like using linoleum that was made 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. That's just my conspiracy theory.
It's very possible.
Okay, so cutting between these. Well, so this. Having the black, like the line from the marker there, is handy
Okay, I see.
because it helps me see exactly where I'm cutting. And just gives me a much greater measure of control. And I'll print this so you can see what it looks like.
Okay, thank you.
And like that. And if you see, if I tilt it,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of see what's happening to that contour on the edge.
Yeah.
You can start to see it just from the where all of these cuts start.